welcome, Creoso, to this Ofcom presentation about our newest invitation to tender, Informed Voices, Developing Critical Thinking Skills for Democracy. My name is Danielle Anther and I'm Media Literacy Manager at Ofcom, working in the People and Partnerships team. I'm joined by my colleague Claire Levens, who is Head of Media Literacy Policy. So in this presentation, we'll be talking a bit about media literacy at Ofcom, and as getting into the invitation to tender, including giving some information about the deliverables and the context as well. So without further ado, I will hand over to Claire.
Hello, thank you so much for investing your time in watching this presentation. We're really interested in working with you. As Danielle said, my name's Claire Levens and I'm Head of Media Literacy Policy. And I wanted to spend a few minutes now just talking about what media literacy means at Ofcom. So as you can see, we define media literacy as the ability to use, understand and create media and communications across multiple formats and services. What does that mean? It means that people are able to do what they want to do, how they want to do it, and when they want to do it online. That means that they've got critical thinking skills and some understanding of how the platforms and apps that they're using work so that they are in control of their online experience. Ofcom has a broad range of media literacy duties. We have a 3-year strategy and we have policy areas that we are required to focus on. You can read some of the detail on this slide, but I particularly wanted to draw your attention to the last shape on the right-hand side, which specifies the policy areas that the Online Safety Act requires us to work. You can see there that there are 4 areas: mis and disinformation, tackling online violence against women and girls, content of democratic importance, and the protection of personal data. And this invitation to tender is really focused on content of democratic importance. So we have a 3-year media literacy strategy. The information and the link to that will be in the information that we send to you. But to break the strategy down, there are 3 priority areas for us. The first is research, evidence and evaluation. We're an evidence-based regulator and we have a long history of researching media literacy, and that remains a core part of our work here. We're also focused on what works, and so we have a real interest in evaluation and in understanding the impact of the work that we commission, including this tender. We're also focused on working with the online and broadcast platforms that have such a big influence over our online lives. And we are working with them to promote media literacy by design, and also to invite and challenge them to do more beyond their platform to promote the media literacy skills of their users. And finally, our people and partnerships work is about working with organisations to develop the media literacy skills of key parts of the population. We typically do that through organisations that have got great relationships with the cohorts that we want to work with, and that's why we're really interested in hearing from your organisations. We also have a focus on digital inclusion and a real interest in emerging tech, particularly generative AI. We are really focused on enabling people to develop the skills they need to safely flourish online. So everything we do in the strategy is about developing that. How do we know if we've developed that well enough, if we've made any difference at all? We've created a media literacy outcomes bank, which has got 5 main areas that you can read on the slide. And again, we will send you this information. This tender focuses on area 3, which is about critical thinking and about being able to understand the content that you're being shown rather.
Thank you, Claire. So to get back into the invitation to tender, so first of all, to talk a little bit about the context. So with the ever-growing use of and easy access to AI, there have been concerns across the government of the threat that this and online disinformation could pose to our national democratic processes and the influence such content could have on voters, particularly first-time voters. The Electoral Commission's research on the 2024 general election found that 61% of people surveyed said they saw misleading information about political parties during the election, and 18% of people said that they did not know if they had seen or heard a deepfake. Over the coming years, there are various elections happening across the UK, and we at Ofcom really want to make sure that young people and first-time voters, so thinking particularly about that 16 to 18-year-old age bracket, that they have the critical thinking skills they need to be able to navigate the information that they see online around elections and democratic processes. Last year, for the general election, we commissioned an organisation called Shout Out UK to design a digital campaign for 18 to 24-year-olds. This was a co-produced campaign and created digital assets to raise awareness of potential misinformation and disinformation tactics that bad actors may use around democratic processes. We had really fantastic reach, with 6.2 million people reached ahead of the UK general election. And we are really keen to build on the success of this approach with the upcoming elections over the next few years. So this is our invitation to tender. The tender is called Informed Voices, Developing Critical Thinking Skills for Democracy. And we require an organisation or consortium of organisations with experience of media literacy and democracy education to help deliver activities to help young people, especially those likely to be voting for the first time, across the UK, navigate information relating to elections. The requirements for the tender will be that this successful organisation or consortium of organisations will have existing relationships with youth organisations and or schools and colleges in both Scotland and Wales, extensive experience consulting and co-producing with young people, experience producing and delivering quality programmes and all materials across the UK, including quality programmes on media literacy or democracy education, existing relationships with key stakeholders across the UK relating to media literacy and democracy education, social media channels with an engaged audience of young people. This is a call-off contract, which means that funding will be confirmed year on year. And in the first year, it will cover the elections happening in 2026. So that's the Scottish parliamentary and Welsh Senedd elections. And then at Ofcom's sole discretion, tenderers may be asked to provide the services for the following. So that's the Northern Irish General Assembly election in 2027, the regional mayoral elections, which include London, and a minimum of 3 combined authority elections in 2028. And then if budget is confirmed for 2029, the UK general election when it is called. In terms of deliverables, the successful organisation or consortium of organisations must deliver a consultation activities with Scottish and Welsh youth organisations, development or adaptation of existing materials for an online campaign, ongoing stakeholder engagement with youth organisations in Scotland and Wales, support of existing campaign weeks with online campaign activity, and evaluation and activity reporting against key outcomes. For the following years, if going ahead, these activities should be replicated for each subsequent election, as listed in the previous slide. Your organisation's submission should include activity outlines for the subsequent years as well. The tender will be published in August and will be live for approximately 4 weeks. The successful tenderer will be notified approximately 2 weeks after the tender closes, and the first year of delivery will finish at the end of August 2026. If you have any questions, please do register on Ofcom's e-tendering portal, which is the link you can see here. And this is where you can submit your questions and submit the tender as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we wish you the best of luck with your application.